Hi guys, and welcome to my workstation tour. I have been planning to do a video like this for a long time, where I show you guys around my workstation and where I make art, but I was always constantly adding to my workspace and I felt like it wasn't quite where I wanted it to be yet, but now I'm at a place where I'm very content with my workspace. I'm very content with what I have now, and I'm very content with how it is, and I think it's going to stay like this for the most part. If it changes too much, I will update you guys and let you know. So yeah. This is my workstation tour. So this is an overview of my workspace. I have my desk, a chair, obviously. I have a bookcase, and then I have this storage container for art supplies, and I have some things on the floor, and I also have this art wall of art that I have either purchased or that has been gifted to me. There's also this and some awards there. Just some details on the desk. It's from Michael's. I think it's by Artist Loft. It is just a drafting table that I got for Christmas about 2 years ago, I think. I just wanted a larger workspace because I was working on this desk. I was drawing on that desk, but I wanted a larger work area and something that was designed specifically for drawing and art and stuff. So I got this drafting table and it has done me well so far. It has these little fabric drawers on them, which are kind of falling apart. I don't know if you can see that. They're kind of ripping. So I would like to replace those somehow or eventually fix them permanently. It has this little side thing, which I'm currently using for hummus. And I also have this wooden board that I varnished over that I just put on my desk because the plastic wood, like the fake wood that was on top of this, started to peel off in a lot of places. So I just kind of got this board that I can paint on, and that way the desk won't get dirty itself. This will get dirty if it gets any paint on it. And so on my desk I have this little garnet pop figure, and then I have this plant that I got from the... Oh my god. Just clean up this mess, pretend that didn't happen. But yeah, I just like to have this little plant just to brighten up the space, I guess. And then this is a tiny little car. It is 76 Impala, I think. It's the one that they have in Supernatural because I got it as a gift one time. And then I have this little shelf up here, which is where I normally keep paper towels. But right now it just has this plaque and little Pikachu on it. And then back to my desk, I have these two lamps that I just got at Walmart, and they clamp onto my desk so that they don't get knocked over all the time. But I have one on either side of my desk to get even lighting on my videos, and I have daylight bulbs in here. They're really bright, as you can see. But I have daylight bulbs in here so that my video doesn't get yellowed out. So just nice, bright lighting. You can see when I turn them off how dark it is in here. Then along the side here on the desk is little compartments. This one just has erasers in it. This has my Prismacolor pencil sharpener. This has some ink, just Higgins ink. And then right here is where I keep all my watercolor brushes. I like to keep them separate from these brushes, which I use for things like acrylic and inks. I just like to keep them separate because if you use acrylic with a softer brush, it will stiffen it up. And I like to have a soft brush for watercolor, so I like to keep these separate, and these are the brushes that I use the most. And then back here in this final little flippy compartment thing, or cup holder, I guess, I don't know. I just have some Prismacolor markers, and then also this chalk marker that I use to write on that board. Moving on to inside these drawers, this first drawer is just like my technology junk drawer. I have my microphone in there that I use for recording. That's my pop filter. My wallet is right there. I have a wrist brace that I use for doing digital art. I have a journal. And then I have my light box down in here. You can't see because it's the same color as the drawer, but my light box is in this little black pouch back there. This drawer is slightly more interesting. It has just an assortment of office supplies and things. So this one is probably the most useful compartment that I have in here. It has tape, a big old hole punch, a multi-tool thing back there, a remote for some kind of light bulb, some whiteout, nail clippers, that kind of thing. And then these just have like an assortment of pens and scissors and just office supplies that I might need. I have some highlighters in there. And then on the side here I have a ruler just in case I ever need that. Then this pouch just has more office supply stuff in it. Stuff like sticky tack and stuff to hang stuff on the walls. Then I just have some, I think that's some greeting cards and some more tape back there. I need some hummus. I am getting hungry. Okay, back to the tour. Down here is where I just keep a bunch of art stuff. I have this painting that I did on my channel. It's on my channel somewhere. You can go find it. This is my school art portfolio for Art 1. This is just more paintings. This is more like instructional stuff that I did. So like my first watercolor paintings and stuff are in there. This is like personal art that I've done. So like video art is done in here. Mostly the things that I'm most proud of go in this little yellow folder. And then this just has a bunch of junk and like scrap pieces of paper and art that I didn't finish. Then I also keep my tripod down here when I'm not using it, just tuck it away in the corner back there. This little bag has a lot of cheap acrylic paints that I use, like just the acrylic paints that I have. And things like dishes that I use as palettes, actual palettes. Sometimes I tuck art that I need to still finish. Things that I'm currently working on will usually just get tucked in right there. Moving on to the shelf, this little cup holder just has brushes that I would use for things like acrylics and inks. Just brushes that are cheaper or designed for like not watercolor. I would keep in here, and it's just an assortment of things. I have some flat brushes, I have some from Amazon, I have these big oil painting brushes, and yeah, I just like to keep my spare brushes in here. These are the kind of brushes that I can beat up and get messy with. Then this little organizer, I got it for Christmas, the Michaels brand Recollections. They have a line of like organization tools for crafts and things, so this one comes with a little compartment that is removable. Let me see if I can show you. It comes out if you want to set it somewhere else and put something else in this little slot, but I just keep my markers in there. But this is where I keep all my Copic markers. I used to have a lot of other pens and doodads in here, but I kind of just want it to be a Copic shelf so that when I do eventually get to buying more Copics, it will fill up eventually. So this is just like exclusively my Copic shelf because I like to keep my brands separated and stuff. And then in this little compartment, I have a little basket that I got at the dollar store. It has some Spectrum Noir markers in it, just various sets that I've got. I have some browns, some reds. Oops, I dropped a marker. I have some browns, some reds, purples, grays, things like that. Then I just have some Sharpies right here if I ever need those. And then this drawer is just another technology junk drawer. I have a mini tripod in here. I have a portable charger. This is my DS charger. This is my camera case, which my camera is not in because I'm using it right now. I have a flash drive back there. A little attachment for the mini tripod that I can use with my phone. I use that for live streaming on Instagram sometimes. And this little stand thing to stand up your phone. It like suction cups to the back of your phone and you can prop it up. Why am I so clumsy? That is that drawer, just an assortment of junk. This drawer just has more junk in it. This is more art related junk, so these are little tubs that I use for putting ink or paint in sometimes. I have lip balm, some guitar picks, a pin that I got from somewhere. That's a headband that I use to keep my hair out of my eyes sometimes. And then just some random oil pastels. And then over here on the side, I just keep the jars that I use for painting. This one has water in it right now. I usually just keep these glass jars to the side and I put water in them when I want to paint. I have a dirty water jar and a clean water jar. So I'll clean my brush in this one and then use this one to actually like grab the paint with. Then down here on this shelf, I have an assortment of different books and stuff. I have a big sketchbook down here. These are some Walking Dead comics that I have. I want to get into reading all of these, but so far I only have 2. Then I have some catalogs from art supply stores. So I have one from Jerry's Artorama. I have one from Blick, just because when you order something, they usually give you a coupon. Not a coupon. They usually give you a catalog and the thing so you can look through other art supplies. That has been very dangerous. Then this is my current sketchbook that I'm using. It has some stickers on it. Has a little elastic. I think the brand is, yeah, it's Ranger. So if you want to look out for that, I got it on Blick. Then just to fill the space, this is a book I got at Urban Outfitters, and it's just like a little instructional book. It's kind of gimmicky, but it's just like a little workbook that you can fill out when you're feeling stressed. Moving on to the bottom of the bookshelf, I got these 4 organizer drawer things at Five Below, it was $5 for a set of 2, so I got 2 sets to fill up my things, and they fit perfectly on my shelves, which was good because I had no idea if they would fit or not. So I just have some art supplies in here because I had art supplies sitting on the shelves before, so I just kind of bought some organizers to put them in. Alright, so I turned on a light so you could see what's actually in these boxes. It's been a couple hours, so I'm sorry if the lighting and everything is different or if I sound different, I don't know. But I just want to show you guys what's in all of these drawer boxes. So this first one has all my watercolor supplies in it. So I have my big set of watercolors. This is Winsor & Newton. It has some stickers on it down there. This is my gouache tubes, pearlescent watercolors. This is my 2-season set by Montmartre that I did a review on. I have, what's this? An apron. That's called an apron. This is my gouache palette. This is my koi watercolors. You can't see the branding on it, I'm sorry. I just use these watercolors in a video and I like to keep them in there. Then this is a small palette I have for any extra watercolors I might have. This is a porcelain dish that I had a bunch of watercolors on and then it broke. And so it just had these 3 watercolors left, and these happened to be my favorite colors. So I just kept this, and then I put a Payne's Gray on here too. So I just keep this in case I ever need those colors, and just as a separate little palette. And then here I have my Cotman Sketcher box set. I glued the color names on the back because they come wrapped in these wrappers with the color things on them. So I keep the color names on the back in case I need to refill those. And then I have 2 spray bottles of water for like spraying my watercolors to activate them. And then this one has alcohol in case I want to get some cool effects, like some little starburst effects on marker drawings, or I can even use them with watercolor to get little splatter effects. And then lastly in here, I have 2 bottles of masking fluid. This is Winsor & Newton masking fluid. And then this is some De La Rowney masking fluid, which they actually carry at Walmart, and it's pretty inexpensive, so I recommend this because it works pretty well if you can get your hands on it. And then there's just a tiny watercolor palette down here that has some missing things because I put it on this palette. Now for this drawer, I'm probably going to have to take some stuff out of it to show you, but the first thing, I guess, is these graphite pencils. I got them from Michael's. They were on sale for like $2.99, so it's just a bunch of graphite pencils in this big, sturdy container, so I figured I might as well pick those up. And these I bought pretty recently. Let me just set them right here. These are Winsor & Newton drawing inks. They come in a set of 8, and they're on clearance at Michael's, and I've been wanting a set of Winsor & Newton inks for quite a while, and so when I saw they were on clearance, I had to snatch them up. And I would just use these like I use watercolors to color things in, and then I also use the black for outlining stuff because it is waterproof. Then this little pencil case has, well, first of all, my friend Nikki, the imaginative artist, painted this pencil case for me with acrylic paint. She painted a cotton candy garden on it, and I just thought it was too cute to not use, so I have my Winsor & Newton markers in here. So I have things like pro markers, I have some brush markers in there. Let's see if I can find a watercolor marker somewhere down there. Let's see. Yeah, there's a watercolor marker. But Nikki was very kind to send me that, so I found a use for it finally, and I'm really happy with it. These are markers that I used when I was a very small person who was just starting to get into like cartoony art and I guess anime style. I didn't know it was anime style at the time, but I was on Pagey World because I heard it was like this cool drawing app and some people in my school were on it, so I got Pagey World and I was hearing about these brush markers and like these art markers that people were using, and of course they were referring to like Copic markers and that kind of thing, but I was just like, hey mom, I want some brush markers. So she went out and got me these, and I still have them, and I still use them for sketching in my sketchbook sometimes. This is a set of Staedtler Triplus fine liners. The D and the T are always confusing because they're right next to each other. But I used to use these a lot when I did a lot of marker art for colored outlines and things, and I still use them for when I want some colored pen in my sketchbook, for when I want to do some pen sketching, but I don't want it to be boring black. I have a lot of color options here. Then down here I have a little organizer that I just got at Hobby Lobby. Let me open it real quick. I I just had a lot of loose things floating around in my drawers like this, so I figured I might as well get a little container to put all of it in just to keep it nice and organized. So in this first compartment, I have little color swatches that I did that I'm going to be using in a video coming up. And then back here, I don't know if you can see them that well, but I have some X-Acto knife blades back there. Then I just have some thumbtacks here for hanging up stuff on my walls. Here I just have some watercolor tubes in this little one. And then, I don't know if you can see, but there's some pen nibs in the very bottom down there. Some dip pen nibs. Then this compartment in the middle has a water brush, a little eyedropper for doing splatter effects and like inky things. Then I have a syringe here for refilling a water brush or a brush pen. Then I have some handles for dip pens, and then there's the needle for the syringe. It is blunt, don't worry, it's not like sharp enough to hurt anybody. What is sharp enough to hurt people is this X-Acto knife. There's the refill blades for it. I think I said that already. Here is my kneaded eraser. Then this one just has a bunch of detail pens. So I have a glitter brush pen. I have a pearlescent watercolor paint. This is Moon Gold. I have a jelly roll pen back there, a neon yellow one. I have a clear glitter jelly roll. Then I have a silver pen, just a pilot pen. And then I also have a Spica glitter pen in there. And finally back here, I have my Wacom drawing tablet that I use for digital art. It is a Wacom bamboo, Wacom bamboo, I don't know how to pronounce it, again, but the cord for it is also down here. And then finally, I have my Prismacolor pencils. This is the 132 set that I got, I think, 3 or 4 years ago for Christmas. So a lot of these pencils are nubs now, and it's not as organized as it used to be, but I got a lot of use out of these. I don't use them anymore, but I used to use them a bunch. Like pencil crayons used to be my thing that I did a lot. So I got a lot of use out of these, and I've had them for quite a while. Whew, this box took a while to get through. This drawer is where I keep all my paper. So I have some watercolor paper down here. I have some tone tan paper, some watercolor trading cards down there. This is some black drawing paper. And then right here I just have a bunch of art tapes. So this is a bunch of masking tape. This is like a fancy art tape that I got at an art store, which was a little bit more pricey, but it works a little bit better. And then this is just blue drafting tape. I have 2 rolls of that, and then this is just regular Scotch drafting tape. And then this just has a bunch of big pads of paper. So I have watercolor paper, more watercolor paper, acrylic paper that I use for watercolor, more watercolor paper, Bristol board. I have this is a scrap piece of drawing paper, I think. Then I have some newsprint paper right there. I have more Bristol board. And then this is just a bunch of scrap papers with a bunch of color charts on them. So this is like my Winsor & Newton color chart that I use. I have different like scrap pieces of paper for swatching things. This is a random card. Yeah, just scrap pieces of paper and loose papers back there behind all the pads. And then right here I have this Crayola Super Tips set of markers that I use these in a video for Watercolor Week, which was, I think, last summer now. And finally, in this drawer, I have all of my sketchbooks, and also a 2DS, apparently. So all of my sketchbooks go in here. So these are all my finished sketchbooks, pretty much. This is a Moleskine one. I'm not going to go through all of them, but this is a Moleskine one. This is a Daler and Rowney mini one. I have some watercolor sketchbooks down there. I have some older ones. Yeah, I have a bunch of Moleskine sketchbooks. Just any sketchbooks that I finish go in there. And then this is art from my friend Katie that I haven't found a place for yet. I promise I will be hanging those up soon. And then these are just a bunch of how-to draw books that I got when I was younger. So, how to draw birds. This is just a general, you can draw book. This is a coloring book. I have some coloring books back here. This is a theater magazine, I think. This is another coloring book. This is Extreme ... Animals. This one is another coloring book. And then I have some paper to print prints on. I have some photo paper back there. And that is all for that drawer. Oh god, this one's heavy. And then this little corner beside the bookshelf just has mostly bigger papers that don't fit on the shelf. So I have mixed media paper here. There's an art board in between those. This is a pad. This is a watercolor block, I think, that I got from my art teacher. She was very kind and gave me a piece. Just some more big watercolor paper. This is a giant watercolor board. These are canvases. 3 big square canvases. My mom wants me to paint something for the living room. And then back here I just have a bunch of bubble mailers to mail art with, and just regular mailers too. I have a cutting board to cut things on with an X-Acto knife if I ever need to use it and I don't want to chop up the wood on my desk. This box has a bunch of unfinished art too, if I am correct. Yeah, just a bunch of bigger sketches and scrap papers and unfinished art that I didn't know where to put, so I had this little wooden box and I just stuffed it in there. Yeah, that's about it for right here. I have, this is a catalog, not a catalog, it's a little booklet about an exhibit in the New Orleans Art Museum, which is the closest art museum to me. I live in Louisiana. But it's a really interesting thing about she's not a Japanese painter, but, whoa. She's not a Japanese painter, but her works are very Japanese inspired. Her name is Regina Scully, and she does accidental Japanese paintings, and I just thought it was neat, so I took a booklet. And yeah, that is it for my workstation tour. I hope you guys liked it. I tried to show you pretty much every inch of my workstation and give you backstory behind it, and so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I like watching people's workstation tours and seeing where they work and how they function, so this is my version of that. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I like to listen to these while I draw, so I hope it entertained you while you're doing something else, or if you just really wanted to know how I work in my workstation, here's that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!